Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Sessions, a View of the Light. We're so excited that you can join us today. We have a truly amazing, wonderful friend of ours showing up today to share with us his ideas of cultivating the light. Before we get to that, though, I'm just going to ask you all to share this out, invite your friends, and, please comment, participate. We love to hear from you. We want to know where you're from. If you're a regular viewer, we'd love to hear, what you enjoy about our show. Anything, just comment. And so our guest today is the incredible Ron Schafer, who I had the pleasure of first experiencing, I believe around the end of 2016, 2007, the beginning of 2017. I had been searching for something that made my soul feel aligned, something that made my soul feel inspired, and came across one of his lives. He was doing card readings. I think it was on Lightworkers of the World Facebook page, and just absolutely fell in love with his energy, his presence. So much joy. Rhonda calls him a little ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, which I absolutely agree with. And I was so happy to be able to introduce him to my co-hosts, Rhonda and Teresa. And Teresa's not feeling well today, so we're sending her love. He's become part of our Spirit Sessions family now as well, and inspired me to grow and expand in such powerful ways and show up for myself as well on my journey. Thank you so much, Ron, for hanging out with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It is always a pleasure to be here with all of you. So today we're going to be talking about cultivating light. And so this is a topic that just was really inspired, when Bex and Rhonda and Teresa reached out and said, would you like to be on the show? I said, of course. And they said, okay, let's just intuit what you want to talk about. So I said, okay. And so I took it into meditation with me and just said, okay, Spirit, what do you want us to talk about? And Spirit said, cultivating light. And I thought, okay, so we'll see what cultivating light looks like. And so I was really inspired with this topic. And so how I want to start this is cultivating light isn't about you doing anything out here necessarily. It's not about you trying to pull light from the world. It's about you embodying the light that you already are. That's really what this cultivation of light is all about. It's about you really cultivating the light within yourself. Because for me, I believe that everybody is a being of light. Everyone is light. Everyone is love. Everyone is joy. That is my firm belief. And so since everyone is light, all we're doing is we're uncovering the light that's already within us. That fertile ground that's there for each of us to, plant our seeds of manifestation. And that's all we're here to do. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for saying I am your unicorn of the day. I appreciate it. Who doesn't love to be a unicorn, right?
That's right.
So as we, come into this, and, I really love that we can even use the unicorn. What is a unicorn? A unicorn is that seventh dimensional focal point of purity and innocence that we all are. And, that's what the horn is. The horn is their third eye, really being open and focused on that intention. And that's what we want to do. We want to focus on our intention of cultivating the light within us. But how do we do this? Well, cultivating the light looks different for everyone. For me, I am a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles. So I practice forgiveness. That is my main way of cultivating the light within me, is to forgive those things that, disturb my peace, forgive, things that may seem, inconsequential to other people, but it disturbs me or makes me sad. I'm like, okay, there's an opportunity for forgiveness. Someone cuts me off in traffic, opportunity for forgiveness. Someone, looks at me sideways, opportunity for forgiveness. There are infinite opportunities for me to practice if I'm willing. And so that's how I practice. And all the things that I practice can be done from the comfort of your couch, the comfort of your car, the comfort of your bed, the comfort of wherever you are. That's really the practice here. It's about that living embodiment of the light that you are, and just practicing it to the best of your ability. And just like I said on my own, what is it? My own page, which is, the most powerful thing anyone can do. It's not about seeing the future. It's not about reading the cards. It's not about channeling or healing or any of that. Those are all great byproducts. But the most important thing anyone can do is forgive themselves and choose again. That's the most important thing that we can do. So if you miss an opportunity for forgiveness, okay, you miss it. No one's going to punish you except you. The divine is not there to punish you and saying, oh, on October 3rd, you didn't forgive that person who cut you off. You didn't forgive your judgment. Well, that's a demotion. No, not at all. The divine says, okay, I'll send you another beautiful opportunity to practice forgiveness in a different and new way. That's it. And so that's how we can start this process, is by practicing whatever spiritual or religious, practice you have. And that's the beauty, I think, is spirituality. Ooh, we are getting some angel signals. Ooh, okay. Oh, my ears are ringing.
Love it.
So, either we, spirituality and religion are just tools for us to cultivate the light in ourselves. That's all they are. And what we tend to do as an ego is we tend to attach ourselves to that practice or to that specific religion. And we tend to be like, okay, this is my whole identity. This is who I am, instead of using it as the tool that it is. Because that's all it is. It's a tool that we can use in order to cultivate that light within us, because we're uncovering through our own guilt, our own blame, our own shame, our own judgments. We're uncovering the light that's there. And, one beautiful quote that I want to read to you all is from Ken Wapnick, who is a teacher and a student of A Course in Miracles as well, and who has passed. And he said, "You don't have to practice being kind. It will just come. What you practice is forgiving yourself for being unkind. That's the practice. That is the practice of the Course. Being vigilant for when you are unkind." That's it. Being vigilant and using our own discernment. That's another key to cultivating the light, is it's not about your judgment. It's about your discernment. And how are you using your discernment? Are you using discernment as a form of judgment? Or are you using discernment as, yes, this serves me, no, it doesn't? Because that's how I see discernment. Discernment is not, you're toxic and awful and a terrible person, but you're kind and generous and loving. You're for me, you're not. That's not how I see discernment. Discernment is, right now, your energy is just not for me. Okay. That's all right. But that's, once again, that's just my way of putting it, because the Course in Miracles is a non-dualistic teaching. And so that's kind of where I step into, is that non-dualism of, you're not good, you're not bad. It's just right now, the energy's just not for me. That's it. And practicing that and practicing it and practicing it and putting it in to consistent practice. And, I can say for myself, that I've seen those beautiful results, because the people that follow me on my Simply Intuitive page, who have followed me from the beginning, have told me time and time again, when they get readings, when they get mentorships, when they sign up for, whatever course I may be doing, they always tell me, Ron, you just seem even more happy. You seem genuinely peaceful. You seem genuinely happy. And it's just like God, is just talking. And I just say, that's because that's what God is doing. I'm not doing anything. I'm practicing forgiveness. That's what I'm doing. I'm practicing what I preach on a daily basis to the best of my ability, so that I may cultivate the light within myself, so that I can really begin to not have to practice being kind. I just am kind because I'm willing to forgive myself. So that means I'm willing to forgive others. And, I think there's this really common misconception that a lot of people have. I can see the light in others, but I can't see the light in myself. And I am here to tell you bullshit. That's exactly what that is. Because what you have just done is you have just closed yourself off. You've closed yourself off to the light in other people too. Because if you can see the light in them, you can see the light in yourself. Because what are they doing? They're reflecting that light that is within you. They're reflecting it back to you. That's all they're doing. So the light that you're really seeing is your own light being reflected back to you. So you can't say that you can't see it because you're seeing it every time you see the light in someone else. You have to be willing to know that you are worthy of that light. You have to know that you are worthy to have that, and that you are worthy of that love and that joy and that happiness and that conductivity and that clarity and whatever else you're seeing in that other person. You have those same things within you. They're just being reflected back to you. That's it. That's all. So if you can see the light in them, you can see the light in yourself. That's it. That's another cultivation of light, is by that acknowledgement of that light that I see in you is the same light that is within me. It's just being reflected back. And isn't it beautiful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it fantastic that I can see that? But this is where it comes in. It's a daily practice. It's not just, well, I'm going to practice it when I'm with my clients. I'm going to practice it when I'm with my parents. I'm going to practice it when I'm out in public. No, I got to practice it all the time. I got to practice it until it no longer, just like Ken said, I don't have to practice being kind. I just am kind. I don't have to practice being generous. I just am generous. I don't have to practice being loving. I just am loving. I don't have to practice being non-judgmental. I just don't judge. That's it. That's the practice. Now, by no means am I saying that I am there to those points. Not at all. But that's why I practice, because I'm cultivating that within myself to the best of my ability. And like I said, I just practice A Course in Miracles. That's how I practice this cultivation of light. That's how I practice uncovering the light that is within me, to that fertile ground. And, before the show, we were talking about, the world that we see right now. And right now, the world that we see, it seems insane. It seems crazy. It seems outlandish. It seems like it's just too hard. I hear so many people saying, I just want to leave. I just want to go home. Here's what I will tell you. You already are home. The earth is not your home. No, the earth is nothing more. The earth, the planet, however you want to look at it. Once again, just A Course in Miracles perspective, is just a really interesting dream that we're all having. We're all asleep and dreaming in, heaven, as the Course calls it, or in the mind of God. And we're just asleep and dreaming this insanity. So if this is nothing more than a dream, think about your nighttime dreams. When you sleep at night, you populate your dream. You give everyone a script and you say, here's your script, here's your script, here's your script. And you tell everyone what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And it gets acted out perfectly. Everything is acted out exactly as you scripted it. So if we can see our nighttime dreams as the same as our waking or seeming waking life, then think how differently you could interact with the world. Someone, let's say, is just not being kind to you in that moment. Okay, for me, this is something that I use. You don't have to. But I ask, what must I believe in order for this to be happening? What must I believe for this to be happening? Because where is the world coming from? The world is not happening to me. The world is happening from me. So what must I believe about myself? What must I believe about this person? What must I believe about the situation in order for this to be occurring? Okay, great. So I could look at it through the ego, because the ego says, well, this is happening to me. They are attacking me. They are being mean. They are being disrespectful. And very well, they may be. But if we look at it through the eyes of forgiveness, if we look at it that way, we're going to see a totally different picture. Now,
so I was just going to say, so is that sort of like the same thing? They're reflecting like the dark in you or whatever?
They're reflecting more of our dark ideas and thoughts, because there is no darkness within us.
No.
What they are reflecting is our own belief in darkness. So our belief that people are mean and cruel and separate, our belief that people can't get together and, cooperate, our belief that there are some people who are, really nice and some people who are really mean. That's what they are reflecting. And so through asking that question, what must I believe in order for this to be happening? You are getting to the core of your own belief. You're saying, what must I believe here? What does my mind keep telling me about a situation, about a person, about a place, about a thing, about this particular idea for this to be occurring? Once I do that, then I practice, okay, so this is what my mind says, this person is just cruel or this person is mean. Once again, this doesn't mean that we don't do anything. It just means we don't do it from the ego's perspective, because the ego's perspective would be, okay, let's fight it out. Like, let's go. You want to attack me? That's fine, honey. I will attack you right back, same intensity. That's what the ego says. And the spirit says, I'm going to step back. And I'm just going to let the divine speak for me and through me, and I think this is another big misconception. I actually said this on a Sunday post or a Saturday's post, which is, we think love is this, nebulous thing, and it's this emotion and it's romantic and, it's soft and squishy and all this. Love is the foundational creational force of all life. That's what it is. And so love is loving. Love is kind and joyful, but love also says no. A lot more than what we think. I think a lot of people think love says, yes, yes. And, you get a car, you get a car. Love says no a lot more often than we think that it does. Love is also very direct. Love will say, here it is. This is what you need to do. You want this? Great. Go this way. But we are so used to we're used to saying love is an emotion that I just feel and that's it. And then people say, my heart betrayed me. Your heart, love cannot betray you because it only wants the best for you. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, Kira says, talk to the hand.
I love that.
Face ain't listening. I was thinking
I haven't heard that for so long.
Sometimes it doesn't say anything and it just bites its tongue, because sometimes that's the best way to just show your love, is not to say what's going to pop out of your mouth. And it's going to pop out of your mouth. So you just shut up, because it won't serve any purpose, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes the knee jerk, you're just grabbing back that ego and going,
you're saying, nope. It'll become, the more and more we practice, the more and more we cultivate that light in ourselves, the more and more we're going to see less of that, ego trying to get off of its leash and, pull us. And it's just going to be sitting there, and love will just be in complete control and telling us what to do and how to do it. And once again, once love has that, once you allow love to have that control, here's where the beauty steps in. You get this giant psychological boulder off of your back, because you're no longer saying it's up to me to figure everything out. Right. That's another great thing about cultivating light, is you actually do become lighter, because you're not carrying around this burden that the ego has you carry. I have to figure it out. It's all up to me. If I don't do it, then it's just not going to get done. And instead, Spirit says, let me do it for you and let me do it through you. You're still doing actions, because we still believe there are actions to be done. And Spirit says, sure, you still believe there's actions to be done? Great. Here are the actions. But instead of you doing them, just let me do them for you and through you. That's when we get into that focus zone. That's when we get into that zone where time just escapes you. And, maybe you finish like a whole 5-page paper in like 25 minutes. And you're like, I have no idea what I just said or how I just said it or how I just did that, but it's done. Great. Wonderful. And, or, you say something to someone and they're like, wow, that really helped. And you're like, what did I say? I didn't say anything. And they're like, no, you just spoke to me like, about this or about that. And oh, great. Well, glad that helped. Glad that was, a service to you. But once again, it's because it starts to become that normal response, not reaction. And see, you notice that I really thought about that. It's not a reaction, it's a response, because that's what love does. Love does not react, love responds. The ego, on the other hand, reacts, and it tries to, it'll punch somebody, it'll scream, it'll yell, it'll do all of these things. Take that step back. That's it. That's all you're asked to do. Forgive yourself. And if you don't step back, you say something mean, okay, forgive yourself, choose again. That's it.
All right. I have to say it, but like from my own personal experience, I struggle with forgiving myself. I need some help, Ron. I need some pointers. What do you got?
Wonderful. Well, when it comes to forgiving yourself, it's really about letting yourself off the hook, setting yourself free, because a good majority of the time when we don't want to forgive ourselves, it's because one, either we hold a belief that we need to keep that, whatever it is, we need to keep that guilt, because that guilt is somehow going to stop us from doing whatever we did again. That, once again, that is our bullshit. That's all that is. It's because if you're carrying that, what you're really doing is you're carrying around that guilt, that blame, that shame, that trigger, and you're just carrying it around. You're not doing anything. You're just carrying it around, being like, here's my little bag, and I'm just going to tote it around. Oh, look, it came out again. Oh, look, it came out again. And then we're wondering, why does this keep coming back? Well, because I never looked at it in the first place. It comes right. You can use that tool again. What must I believe in order for this to be happening? Or what is the value that I hold for this? What is that? What's the value that I'm holding for this particular belief in whatever way? And just like Patty is saying here, no one is perfect at asking for forgiveness. It is opening up to the light that you are and realizing that whatever happened did not affect the truth of who you are or the truth of who anyone else is in truth. It didn't. We think that it changed someone or it changed us. It can't change you. You were created whole, pure, perfect, protected, provided for in all ways. And just because you make a mistake in the dream doesn't mean that that's going to be taken away from you. We have to be willing to be like, I am still cultivating the light within myself. I am still learning that I am deserving of love. I am deserving of forgiveness. I am deserving of this thing that I give so freely and openly to everyone else. Because if I can give it, once again, if I can give it to everyone else, I have to be willing to give it to myself, because I'm really only ever giving it to myself. Because what is everyone in the world? Everyone is a projection of your own thoughts and beliefs playing out on the stage that you have made. So anytime you offer someone forgiveness, you're offering it to yourself, because they are a part of you. They are you, just in maybe a different body, maybe a different form, shape, whatever. They are you. So you do know how to offer forgiveness to yourself. You just think that, I think there's probably a belief there that other people are more worthy of the forgiveness than what you are. Right. You are worthy of that forgiveness because you want to set yourself free just as much as you want everyone else to be free. That's something to remember. So is there any particular thing that you have when it comes to this self-forgiveness that you would like to work on here and now that we could really work through?
Oh, wow. I guess just feeling like I haven't been, I guess maybe we'll just go with the raising 4 kids alone. Feel like I haven't been able to hold the standard that I should for them. Haven't given them the fair, a really fair chance at life. And, they all have their own things that they have to overcome, which of course we all do, but feeling like I kind of didn't hold myself to that standard I should have. I think that's, as a parent, I think we all have that kind of fear to an extent, but I've really held myself stuck in that of I tell them all, I'm so sorry, I should have done better, and I try to do better, but it's just, there's that guilt there. There's that feeling of if I had known what I know now when they were little, they'd be so much better off. And so I know that there's an aspect of that of I had to learn as, they were growing up in the way that I did, but I still feel like I should have known that,
But where does all that guilt really put in? Is it put in the present moment?
Well, it comes up in the present moment all the time, but I guess it would be the past.
Right, because that's what we're doing. We're reliving the past again
Right.
and again and again and again.
Right.
And so this whole thing with you saying, I could have, I should have done better. It's not that you could have or should have or this or that. What it is about that acceptance. You're not accepting where you were then. You're trying to project where you are now to where you were then, and then saying, unworthy, unworthy, because really underneath all that stuff that you just said, underneath it all is, I feel like I was not an adequate mother. That's really underneath it all. That's where it is. And you have to realize and be willing to accept and say, you know what? Okay. First, let's see. So the first thing we have to really accept is the truth of who you are. So would you be willing to accept that you are the light?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're willing to accept that you are the light, then as you are the light, and we kind of look back at, we'll just look at the past and we'll say, okay, so, whatever situation, because there's one particular situation that you hold yourself very much a victim of, and you're like, yeah, I'm a terrible person. And we don't need to go into that event because that's not something that needs to be gone into, but you know what it is. And I want you to see yourself in that event. I want you to just close your eyes, and I just want you to see yourself in that event. Okay. And I want you to let all that guilt rise up, let it come up to the surface, and just kind of, as you see those pictures, just kind of see them there, let them be. We're not assigning a judgment to them. We're discerning them. We're looking at them. That's all we're doing. We're just looking. And as we look at this, what I want you to imagine is that, we'll just say, the person that you were. I want you to imagine the way that you looked then. And I want you to see all of these chains around you. Okay. And because they're heavy, there are some anchor chains. And I want you to see those anchor chains now going to the person that you are now. Okay. And I want you to see them connecting to your heart. And as you do, you're going to feel that heaviness. It's going to be there. And that's okay. That's what we want to feel. We want to feel that heaviness for right now. And then what I want you to imagine is, I want you to imagine this beautiful just circle of just white light. That's all it is, just a circle of white light around that you that's covered in chains. And as you do that, I just want you to, in your own mind, you don't have to say it out loud. I just want you to say, I forgive you. I'm sorry. That's it. I forgive you. I'm sorry. And then as you do that, I want you to be willing to just see some of those chains fall off. And as those chains are falling off, I want you to let go of that guilt. Because there's that guilt there that says, I can't let this go, because if I let this go, it's going to happen again. It's not going to happen again because you've already learned the lesson. You've already learned what you need to learn from it. Carrying around the story isn't going to help. And that's what you've been doing. You've been carrying around the story. That's the heaviness, because it's this continual pattern of trying to watch out for this particular behavior. And that's probably why you're so tired. It's because you're constantly looking out for this behavior. You're constantly looking out for this story, making sure it better not happen again. It's not going to happen again because you're going to let it go. It was a story of the past. It no longer serves you. And I just want you to see those chains just disintegrating. Just let them go. Let the story go. It no longer holds value for you. There's no more value in that story. It doesn't hold anything for you. It's not helping you, not helping you at all. It's actually keeping you stuck in a perpetual pattern of judgment about yourself, about your parenting, about your worthiness. Let the story go. It no longer serves you. And we're going to do a little bit of toning to assist you with that. And so anyone who's holding on to a story, anyone who's having a trouble with this forgiveness, close your eyes now. Take a deep breath and just let the tones wash over you as they assist you in letting go of the story. You can take the lesson, but not the story. And so you just let yourself, let it all go. The stories that we hold no more value. We let the value for them go. Stop trying to stop the story from coming true and happening, and just let go of the story and realize that once you do, it's not going to happen again.
That is amazing. Talking about the angels singing, holy cow.
I think I just went to church. Wow, thank you for that. That was,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that today, but I knew I needed it. So always, like, Ron knows, Ron shows up. Wow.
That's it, but that's all we're here to do.
Thank you so much. That was really powerful, and I really, really need it. It's funny because I felt that all opening up before we even came on. I was like, all right, why is this coming to the surface? Why am I feeling this right now? And that was why.
Yeah, because it was time to let it go. It's time to let the story, be done. Close the book, let the guilt of that story go, let the guilt of the past go, and allow yourself to move forward with freedom. And that's that cultivation of light again. You're letting yourself go. You're letting yourself see the light that you are. You're not letting that old story determine who you are. Because that's what we do all too often, is we allow the stories of the past to come forward into the present moment. And we ask ourselves again and again, why is this story reoccurring? Why is it happening again? And it is happening again because you have not let it go. You must let all of your old stories have endings instead of continually writing the same story in perhaps a different way, in a different form, but it is always the same context. Always the same context. You must allow yourself freedom. For that is all beings' right, to be happy and to be free. And if you are not experiencing happiness and freedom, then look at the stories you are telling yourself. We will take another, for example. If you say that spiritual work is hard, then it will always be hard. But if you simply see it as an opportunity to cultivate the truth of who you are, to set yourself free, see it as the tool that it is, then that is what it will be. That will be the experience. You get to choose the experience and the way that you view it. If you view it through the eyes of the ego will always be looking for a fight. It'll always be looking outside of itself for the person, for the happiness, for the freedom, for the joy. It will always look outside of itself, and it will always be the victim, for that is what the ego sees itself as. Always the victim. But if we want to see a different story, then we must simply change our minds and let the storyteller be changed. And that simply means tuning in to the truth of who you are, tuning in to spirit, to the light that you already are, and let that tell you the story. It does not mean the form will change. All too often, we get so caught up in forms. If I do not like the form, then I must change my mind about the form, and then the form will change. Yes, I've gotten my way. That is not what it is about, beloveds. It is not about changing the form to better suit what your ego would like. That is still an ego trap. It is about seeing it from a different state of mind, from a different perceptual view. And then from that different perceptual view, you can then be told what to do instead of deciding what it is you should do.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
We love when you channel. It just makes us so happy. It's so good. Oh,
Thank you so much.
yeah, that was incredible.
Got
Beautiful.
goosebumps.
Right?
Goosebumps all over. Yeah.
I feel better. I feel much better. That was great. And I know our audience is loving it. Absolutely loving it. This is
That's
awesome.
it. Just don't try to change. Don't change the form to suit the ego. Change your mind. And that's where the key will really come in. Sometimes the form will change. Sometimes it will. And sometimes it won't. But that doesn't mean just because the form didn't change that you did something wrong or that you are being punished. It just simply means that you're still, the form is the form. You just have to see it from that different perspective. And as you see it from that different perspective, you will begin to respond to it in a different way. And that's what's so important, is not falling into that trap of, I want the form to be different, because that is somewhere where we all get stuck, and we need to cultivate that light, which is seeing it from a new perspective, seeing it from a different perspective, and one that we may not be privy to within our own egoic understanding, but only from that higher perspective could we really see it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was powerful.
That's awesome. And I'm going to watch it again on the replay tonight so I can listen to the toning again. That's awesome. Patty says she wishes she could channel. You can channel. Everyone can channel. Right?
Yes. Everyone can, because
and they probably do, right?
Yeah.
oh,
They
everyone
probably do.
does in their
Okay.
own unique way. Remember, we all channel, because what are we channeling? Let's think about this. A lot of people, once again, this is something that I actually teach in my channeling course, is it's not about reaching up and out. It's about reaching in. Because what are you channeling? You're channeling the truth of who you are. That may come through in a variety of different ways, but all you're channeling is the light that you are. If you want to cultivate that, once again, cultivate within. It's not about calling forward, anything in particular. It's not about saying, I'm going to pull forward the energy of this person or pull forward the energy of this collective. It's simply about reaching in and saying, okay, what does the light within me want to express? What does the light within me want to express? And then it may express itself through, Kuan Yin. It may express itself through Jesus. It may express itself through Buddha. It may express itself through the Palladian collective, the Arcturian collective, the Orion collective. It doesn't matter the name. Once again, it's another really big thing we get caught up on is names. Oh, well, I'm channeling the 5th dimensional Palladian collective. Well, I'm channeling the 44th dimensional, it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
It could be as simple as that quote that comes flying from your head, right? The quote that comes flying forth, or
or a song that pops up, lyrics in your head too.
Yes, but everyone is channeling. Everyone can do it. Like I tell people all the time, don't search for specialness, because the moment you try to search for being more special, that's the moment that you lose everything, because you're trying to separate yourself, and like I was telling Bex and Rhonda in our pre-show, a good majority of the time, the reason that we seek for specialness is it's just another call for love. It's just saying, tell me that I'm worthy of you. Tell me that I'm worthy of love. Tell me that because I have this special gift. We all have the same gifts. We all have the same talents. We may express them in different ways, in our own unique, original way, but they're all the same. And we all have the exact same access to them. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not psychic, that you're not a channeler, that you're not a healer, that you're not, you are all things. That is what you are. And you couldn't be anything less, even if you tried.
Oh, awesome.
So look, that could be a channeling right there.
It probably is.
Absolutely.
I imagine it is. So Ron, I have to bring our time to a close, but I have some more questions for you before you go. The 3 questions we ask everyone. Even though you've been on before, have you got a new song that you are really, feeling that it's kind of your theme song for your life right now?
Yes. Just Do It by, what is her name? I cannot remember her name right now. India Ari, I think, but I'm probably not saying it right. But that's okay. But I just love that song. I literally, the funny thing is, I heard it when I was in the home store, the home place. I was looking for decorations for Halloween, and the song came on. I was like, I'm jamming through the house. I was like, oh my God, this is my jam, and I was having a grand old time walking through the store, and there was no one else in there. So it was super quiet, and I could hear the whole song.
Awesome. I love that song.
Awesome.
I couldn't find anything like it for our TikTok, but yeah, I like it. I was playing it. And do you have any special crystals that you are liking right now, or do you use them at all, or do you just like pretty rocks like me?
I mean, I just like pretty rocks, I would say. I don't really use them as much as I used to. I used to be like a super die hard on, yes, I need this. But what I realized was, and this is just for me, doesn't mean for anybody else, I realized that they were a symbol. And that's all that they really were. They were a symbol of, protection, a symbol of love, a symbol of this and a symbol of that. And if I need those to, be the symbol, then great and wonderful. And if I don't, then like you said, they're just really pretty to look at.
Yeah. They're tools, right? They're tools of intention. So that's what I've always said. They're sort of like sacred geometry in your hand. So
they direct your focus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
what
awesome.
I like. 'Cause
Can I
always-
share a song real quick that Ron shared with me that I think would be perfect for our show
Okay.
today? There was a song he shared with me during one of our sessions that he did for me because he's amazing. And it's a song called Sun is Shining by, let me see, I have it right here, Axwell, A, and Grosso. And it's literally the theme of our show today. It's the same thing. The sun is shining. It's about being the light. You know, everything is okay. The sun is shining and so are you. So I think that it's funny that, I mean, that every time I hear that song, I think of you, Ron, because you are sun for us. You know, you are the bright spot in our day. You know, and it is you.
Yeah.
It's all of us. Remember, it's not just me. You're the sun.
It's what you
Rhonda's the
reflect
sun.
back to us.
That's it. I'm just
Yeah, that's
reflecting
right.
back the purity, joy, happiness, and intention that you all are. That's it. So if anyone ever sees, you know, oh, wow, Ron looks really peaceful. He looks really happy. Then great. Know that your blessing is on the way. You know, that's another great thing you can do. You see, if you buy lottery tickets and you see, and this is something I use, I will not lie to you all. I go and I buy little scratchers, and I can tell you every time I buy a scratcher, first it used to just be like $1, $2. I now win 10, 20, 50, 100, 250 has been my highest thus far. But if I see someone winning, I celebrate it. I'm like, oh, my blessing is on the way, because what are they doing? They're reflecting back to me my belief.
Yeah.
So,
bless what you want. Isn't that a Hawaiian
exactly.
kind
Bless
of thing?
what you want.
I actually said it to my daughter yesterday when we were on our way to Salem. She was seeing Teslas all over the place, Teslas everywhere. And I was like, she's like, Mom, there's like 45 I've seen so far. I said, you're going to have a Tesla. I'm like, you're calling it into your focus. When you get older, you can buy it. You know, like you're calling it in. Right. So I love it.
So just bless it. So anytime you see someone winning, you know, don't be, you know, if that envy comes up, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why, you know, question it. What must I believe in order for this to be happening? Or what story am I telling myself because I'm envious? A good majority of the time, the envy comes because we don't believe that we can have it.
Right.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I can't have that. It's out of my reach. Instead, we forgive ourselves. I am the holy, blessed child of God, free of all limits, safe and healed and whole, innocent and provided for in all ways. I am under the divine. I'm under the law of divine providence, which means all my needs are met in surplus continually. And so thank you. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for showing me that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for showing me the possibilities that can be mine.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah,
And that's another way of cultivating light, another way of being in that moment and allowing yourself to believe that you can have it.
Cool. I like that. And the last one, I mean, just one recently, have you seen any light ships or UFOs? And we already know that you experience extra dimensional beings because we saw one today. So have you seen any like tangible, like when I mean tangible, like sort of, you know, human type tangible light ships or anything, you know?
I did. Me and my sister were driving. We were actually just going to go get Dairy Queen because I just really wanted ice cream. And she always makes fun of me saying like I'm a 5-year-old because I love a vanilla cone with sprinkles.
Oh,
like that's just my jam. I just love a vanilla cone with rainbow sprinkles. And so we were driving there, and we're just driving. We get to our normal stoplight. You know, it's kind of like a back road because there was a concert at the other end. So we're like, we're not going to go that way. And, you know, she was like, oh, you see that? And I was like, see, like, I'm trying to only see what? And she was like, I don't know. She said, there's some in the sky. And I was like, you know, we just laughed about it. I was like, oh, maybe it's, you know, a UFO or whatever. And so we start driving and we start seeing it like it's actually coming in like to where we can, you know, really see it. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's kind of weird. You know, it's not really a plane. It's not really this. And, you know, we're just kind of looking at it. And then I swear to you, it looks like it just shifts out, just disappears. Like it looks like it just turns a corner and just shifts out of reality, just gone. Just where did it go? I mean, and it was dusk. So, you know, it's not like it was terribly, you know, terrible lit or anything. It was just like, it's shining, it's bright. And then it just looked like the light turned a corner and just like disappeared into nothingness. And we were just like, all right.
That's cool.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Awesome. This has been a whole day of awesomeness, and we really feel blessed and honored that you could join us today. And we thank you again. You may have recognized Ron as he's been a co-host here too.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably call on him again because he's just so much fun.
Oh, we will call. It's not probably.
No,
We will.
I mean, yeah, sooner or later. So we wish you a happy Halloween. But before that, I have to tell who won last week. And I'm just looking over here. Teresa Holm.
Yes.
Won from last week. Share out the most. So please share out. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It really helps us out when we're asking all sorts of guests. They like to know those statistics for their whatever, and it's fun to have lots of people subscribing to you. I just got to say, we're on TikTok, and this is now live cast to Twitter. So if you're a Twitter nut, Twitter bird, or whatever they call you, a tweeter,
A tweeter.
It's on live on Twitter now as well as on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you all for joining us. Hi, Stephanie Lynn.
And go check out Ron's page.
Yes.
Simply
Yes. Tell us
Intuitive.
where we can
Yes.
find you. I know I put the information in the video so people can go to you because you have a really cool page. So just give us anything coming up shortly for you, Ron.
Well, you can always go visit Simply Intuitive, where I do my daily energy mantras, where it's basically just whatever spirit gives me in the morning, and then I just share it with all of you. Or you can go to my website, awakeningmiracles.org, where you can find all of my blogs and all of my services that I offer, including some of my online learnings, which some of them are free, and then other of them are pre-recorded things that I've already done, and then I just send to you, and that way you can just do it all on your own. And so that's just what I have thus far. Just go visit the website and you can see everything that I offer, both the free content and the paid content as well.
Yeah, it's an awesome website. So it's worth a look, everyone. Thank you very much. And anything else to add, Bex, before I take everybody out? Okay. Well, have a great day, everyone. And I'm sure you will now. And replay.
Yes.
Replays are good. Yeah, you can even cast it now on your television if you really want to. So have a great day. Thanks, Ron. Bye. I'm going to put this out. There we go.